Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Last time we cleared out Moss Mother Cavern, fought a dragon, and killed a bunch of Thalmor. This time we're going to clear out Sunderstone Gorge. It's an unassuming little looking cave, but it hides a lot of really important stuff.
I'm warning you. Back off.
Arch Necromancer. This guy is strong. Good news for us that he's getting used for this magic. I think we're gonna have to use our sword minimum. It may even end up being to use beast form. I think that fire is coming from a staff. If I could sneak up on him and pickpocket the staff, be in good shape. Let's see if we can't manage that. Because he's just casting ice spells at me, which, you know, is nothing. Here, let me cast Muffle right quick. Let's just see if we can get that staff off of him.
That's close enough.
There's a disintegrated skeleton we can search.
I'm warning you. Back off.
0% to steal. Well, damn. Alright. We're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, but
That's
we
close
could
enough.
start off with a 6x sneak attack. That's something. If I can just get in
I'm warning you. Back off.
around the wall where I can hit him. Got him.
Mercy.
Get back here, butthole. Where'd he go? We can break his staff. Now we're out of magic, so let's get to work with this.
I'll see.
He's just powerful, and that staff of fireballs is not doing me any favors. Come on. 27 for one-handed.
I'll end your miserable life. Enough.
See, he just keeps healing. There we go. That was a tough fight, my friends. But he's handled. Let's heal up and then let's head into the cave. I handled him without using beast form, the win button. I'm particularly happy about that. Another searchable skeleton that you'll probably see these are in pieces, so we won't be able to reanimate him. As for an Arch Necromancer, he's definitely too strong for that. Well, let's head in here. See what there is to see. Gonna get flames ready, but I don't think we'll be able to use it much. We have a lot of high-level casters. Well, here's a skeleton that's called a novice conjurer. A few pieces of firewood. And a master necromancer with a staff of ice storms. Well, I'm actually okay with that staff. Let's get another sneak attack. That'll help immensely. One-handed's up to 30. That's good. Means that I have unlocked the perk Bladesman 1, which I do eventually want. Alright, let's get Flames back out. She is likewise obviously too powerful to reanimate, so let's just move on through here. I hear Skellies. Skelly I can... He fell to pieces, so no reanimation. Let's just leave him and move on. Now note, I forgot to point out, up here at the beginning, there's a pressure plate trap that's going to drop some rocks. In the skeleton room, there's another pressure plate trap, which is going to release that mammoth skull. I actually want to trip it so I can get to that shelf behind it. Get a coin purse and a potion. Alright, let's keep going now. I think we have another skelly up first. That pressure plate there ignites that big oil slick trap that covers this entire little ravine. Nothing too great on the skelly. Bunch of hanging moss in and around here. And here's a silver ore vein. Let's mine it. Little branch. Humble skeever. Very easy to destroy. And if we go down here, there's a wall we can't get up, but there is a searchable urn. I got gold and a potion. And a few more silver ore veins. Let's keep going straight. We gotta be careful as we move up here. Probably can't avoid attracting the attention of 3 different casters all at once. Got the feeling I might... A pyromancer. Got the feeling I might have to push the win button here. There's a skeleton too. Hit the oil slick trap while they're on it. That just makes sense. One of the few times I've actually used one of those. You'll notice there's a swinging gate trap too that they seem to hit a lot. Another pyromancer. And he keeps moving, and he's got a flame cloak on. It's going to be to our advantage to try and hurt him from a distance. He's hitting me way too hard. I didn't get away. close and personal. Just get as specific as we can. Try to take it out. Cast is murder. Looks like the swinging gate trap actually killed everybody besides him. Let's just get our sword out, get our shout ready, get in. Oh, there we go. That worked. That time they all killed themselves. That's fine by me, so heal up, we'll search the skeleton, and here are all 3 corpses right in a row. Pyromancers are too powerful to reanimate, so we'll just loot her. Master Necromancer's too powerful, just loot him. And this Pyromancer, you guessed it, too powerful, so just loot him. Alright, there's the pressure plate that triggers that swinging spike gate. So, you know, don't trigger that. That would hurt very badly, as you saw. It was murdering all those powerful enemies in one shot. Hanging moss there. I think I've got just about all I can reach. Maybe that one. Yes, good. Alright, let's move on. Carry weight's at 281. We're doing okay. Let's go back here first. We got a bucket. Nothing. I thought there was a chest back here. Must be confusing it with something else. Anyway, the oil slick trap being ignited will have scattered a lot of stuff. Oh, maybe not. Look at that, it's all still organized. That's because there's a second oil slick that didn't ignite. Alright, an adept-locked chest. Let's quick save and get it open. I never saw it move at all. How bizarre. There we go. Damn. It's the toughest adept chest ever. Good grief. What's up with this thing? There we go. Finally. Lockpicking to 69. Let's head up these stairs now. Another locked chest, this one apprentice level. Lots of valuable stuff there too. Let's go over here to where one of those casters was standing watch. Can reach a bit more hanging moss. That seems to be about it. The way forward is back here, through this door. Alright, there'll be 2 more casters in here. One is typically lower level. The other, as usual, is high. Oh, there's a spellcaster trap right there. Slick. We can wait for that to burn off.
I'll see you burn.
Alright, let's see what we can do. Whoever's behind him is smacking me with very powerful shock magic, so it seems I can't rely at all. Burn the hose here. Get him with our sword. Alright. Now we have this guy, Master Conjurer.
That's your best.
That's a well-timed level up, and I'm going to use it to save my butt. I don't even care. Coin and health. let's just look for a perk I want that's unlocked. How about Bladesman 1? Only just unlocked. Sounds good to me. Alright.
Joy killing you.
There you go. That is how we do it. Good. I might be able to reanimate this fire mage. Let me see. He's too strong. That's okay. The really dangerous part is over now. Let's search this skeleton, who he started out disintegrated. Nobody killed him. And we're back at the spellcaster trap. Good. We got cabbage in a basket on the ground. Let's pick up all this stuff that's scattered on the ground before we do anything else. While people were slinging spells willy-nilly. An orange dartwing there in the back corner. Okay, good. Now let's get this open. Note the trap. Looks like it's somehow already triggered. Even though I didn't open the door. Oh well. Got a soul gem, some bone meal, a skull, a satchel with pine thresh egg, and an unlocked chest. With a little bit of stuff in it. Inside this gate, bread, wooden plate, bucket. Bucket between the cages. This one, plate, carrot, bucket, and another skeleton just has some gold. Alright, let's head over here. These sleeping quarters. Embalming tools, several coins, a death bell. Inside the dresser, there's some clothes. A woodcutter's axe. Some bread. Got suspended in the cooking spit. Oh yeah, cooking. Cooking pots allow you to cook food that restores your health or provides other temporary effects. Each recipe requires specific culinary ingredients that can be found throughout Skyrim. I don't usually bother with cooking, but I hear it can actually be pretty valuable. Anyway, wine, black mage robes, 2 boots, green apples. I see a leak on top of the barrel, another wooden bowl, another basket, and we're done. On the left, a leather helmet. Straight ahead, a shovel, and up in here, a bleeding crown, second bleeding crown, and a master-locked chest. Alright. Goodness. Lockpicking's nearly to 70. And the range on a master lock is still only a few pixels. I'm going too far when I do get motion. Need to remember, if I have motion at all, I am within a few pixels of the spot that'll open it, so... Come on. Well, that was the closest we've gotten. Cold comfort, of course. You struggle and you struggle and you struggle, and then eventually it just happens. That's what it seems like, anyway. Come on now. We can do this. No, we can. Oh, well, that was lucky. Alright. Let's move on. We're near the end now. Only 2 casters and a flame atronach left to fight. You can see the casters up there. The atronach will spawn in when we get close. I'm going to ignite that oil slick now. That doesn't happen when I'm out there. I'm going to get frostbite ready. Close enough for the atronach to spawn in. Fire mage out. And pyromancer up there. Kill a flame atronach. Make sure you back away until they explode. You don't want to be standing there when it happens. Alright, let's see what we can do. As much as I can. Now let's see if we can finish the job. My dead is an issue. She'll go. Let's see. One more. Alright, we got her. Now we just have the big bad pyromancer up top. Him will probably kill us soon. Like we have bed. I wonder if we could reanimate her. I know we can reanimate the flame atronach. Except I think they resist it. We'll have to try, but regardless, there's only one enemy left. It's that pyromancer up there. Seems like he's about to abandon the chase, which is good. Excellent. Just wait an hour. Oh look, we can reanimate her. That's how you know she's weak. Alright, let's get going on frostbite. I think she actually has to be an 8. We got destruction to 49. Let's heal up. Let's get the sword out. Let's roll. Actually, I'm gonna try Elemental Fury this go round. Different idea. Archery. Coupled with a sneak attack. Here, let's put an ebony arrow on and see how much more damage we do. Give us a little head start. Now we'll try Elemental Fury in the sword. See if it works a little bit better. Good night, douchebag. Good. Alright. Now we can heal up. In peace. All over. Restoration of 54. Another surgical skeleton. Alright. Now, a lot of stuff will have been scattered from his spell slinging, so I need to be careful while I wait to see if I can reanimate the Atronach. Let's look here. A skill book. And Sunderstone Gorge is clear. You just heard the chime. And we got another Conjuration skill book. Conjuration went to 93. The book is 2920 Frostfall V10. It's the final Conjuration skill book. So let me take that off the list. Go over to free skill boosts. I only had 2 left for Conjuration. Now I have 1. We found all the skill books, we just have 1 quest. Frostfall, Book 10 of 2920, The Last Year of the First Era by Karlovac Townway. 10. Frostfall, 2920, Phrygius, High Rock. The creature before them blinked, senseless, its eyes glazed, mouth opening and closing as if relearning its function. A thin glob of saliva burbled down between its fangs and hung suspended. Turala had never seen anything of its kind before, reptilian and massive, perched on its hind legs like a man. Mynastera applauded enthusiastically. "My child," she crowed, "you have come so far in so short a time. What were you thinking when you summoned this Daedroth?" It took Turala a moment to recall whether she was thinking anything at all. She was merely overwhelmed that she had reached out across the fabric of reality into the realm of oblivion and plucked forth this loathsome creature, conjuring it into the world by the power of her mind. "I was thinking of the color red," Turala said, concentrating, "the simplicity and clarity of it, and then I desired and spoke the charm, and this is what I conjured up." "Desire is a powerful force for a young witch," said Mynastera, "and it is well matched in this instance, for this Daedroth is nothing if not a simple force of the spirits. Can you release your desire so easily? Turala closed her eyes and spoke the dismissal invocation. The monster faded away like a painting in sunlight, still blinking confusedly. Mynastera embraced her dark elf pupil, laughing with delight. "I never would have believed it. A month and a day you've been with the Coven, and you're already far more advanced than most of the women here. There is powerful blood in you, Turala. You touch spirits like you were touching a lover. You'll be leading this Coven one day. I have seen it." Turala smiled. It was good to be complimented. The Duke of Mournhold had praised her pretty face, and her family, before she had dishonored them, praised her manners. Cassir had been nothing more than a companion. His compliments meant nothing. But with Mynastera she felt she was home. "You'll be leading the Coven for many years yet, great sister," said Turala. "I certainly intend to, but the spirits, while marvelous companions and faultless tellers of truth, are often hazy about the when and hows. You can't blame them, really. When and how means so little to them." Mynastera opened the door to the shed, allowing the brisk autumn breeze in to dispel the bitter and fetid smells of the Daedroth. "Now I need you to run an errand to Wayrest. It's only a week's ride there, and a week's ride back. Bring Doriatha and Celefina with you. As much as we try to be self-sufficient, there are herbs we can't grow here, and we seem to run through an enormous quantity of gems in no time at all. It's important that the people of the city learn to recognize you as one of the wise women of the Skeffington Coven. You'll find the benefits of being notorious far outweigh the inconveniences." Turala did as she was bade. As she and her sisters climbed aboard their horses, Mynastera brought her child, little 5-month-old Bosriel, to kiss her mother goodbye. The witches were in love with the little Dunmer infant, fathered by a wicked duke, birthed by wild Ayleid elves in the forest heart of the Empire. Turala knew her nursemaids would protect her child with their lives. After many kisses and a farewell wave, the 3 young witches rode off into the bright woods under a covering of red, yellow, and orange. 12 Frostfall, 2920, Dwinnen, High Rock. For a Middas evening, the least-loved Porcupine Tavern was wildly crowded. A roaring fire in the pit in the center of the room cast an almost sinister glow on all the regulars, and made the abundance of bodies look like a punishment tapestry inspired by the Arcturian heresies. Cassier took his usual place with his cousin and ordered a flagon of ale. "Have you been to see the Baron?" asked Paleth. "Yes, he may have worked for me in the Palace of Vervaeus," said Cassier proudly, "but more than that I can't say. You understand, secrets of state and all that. Why are there so many damned people here tonight? A shipload of dark elves just came into harbor. They've come from the war. I was just waiting until you got here to introduce you as another veteran." Cassier blushed, but regained his composure enough to ask, "What are they doing here? Has there been a truce?" "I don't know the full story," said Paleth, "but apparently the Emperor and Vivek are in negotiations again. These fellas here have investments they were keen to check on, and they figured things on the bay were quiet enough. But the only way we can get the full story is to talk to the chaps." With that, Paleth gripped his cousin's arm and pulled him to the other side of the bar so suddenly, Cassier would have had to struggle violently to resist. The Dunmer travelers were spread out across 4 of the tables, laughing with the locals. They were largely amiable young men, well-dressed, befitting merchants, animated in gesture made more extravagant by liquor. "Excuse me," said Paleth, intruding on the conversation. "My shy cousin Cassier was in the war as well, fighting for the living god, Vivek." "The only Cassier I ever heard of," said one of the Dunmer drunkenly with a wide, friendly smile, shaking Cassier's free hand, "was a Cassier Whitley, who Vivek said was the worst spy in history. We lost Ald Marak due to his bungling intelligence work. For your sake, friend, I hope the two of you were never confused." Cassier smiled and listened as the lout told the story of his failure with bountiful exaggerations which caused the table to roar with laughter. Several eyes looked his way, but none of the locals sought to explain that the fool of the tale was standing at attention. The eyes that stung the most were his cousin's, the young man who had believed that he had returned to Dwynnen a great hero. At some point, certainly, the Baron would hear about it, his idiocy increasing manifold with each retelling. With every fiber in his soul, Cassier cursed the living god Vivek. 21 Frostfall, 2920. The Imperial City, Cyrodiil. Corda, in a robe of blinding whiteness, a uniform of the priestesses of the Hegathe Morwa Conservatorium, arrived in the city just as the first winter storm was passing. The clouds broke with sunlight, and the beauteous teenage Dreadguard girl appeared in the wide avenue with escort, riding toward the palace. While her sister was tall, thin, angular, and haughty, Corda was a small, round-faced lass with wide-browed eyes. The locals were quick to draw comparisons. "Not a month after Lady Reach's execution," muttered a housemaid, peering out the window and winking to her neighbor. "And not a month out of the nunnery, either," the other woman agreed, reveling in scandal. "This one's in for a ride. Her sister weren't no innocent, and look where she ended up." 24 Frostfall, 2920. Dwynnen, High Rock. Cassier stood on the harbor and watched the early sleet fall on the water. It was a pity, he thought, that he was prone to seasickness. There was nothing for him now in Tamriel to the east or to the west. Vivek's tale of his poor spycraft had spread to taverns everywhere. The Baron of Dwynnen had released him from his contract. No doubt they were laughing about him in Daggerfall, too, and Dawnstar, Lilmoth, Rimmen, Greenheart, probably in Akavir and Yokuda for that matter. Perhaps it would be best to drop into the waves and sink. The thought, however, did not stay long in his mind. It was not despair that haunted him, but rage, impotent fury that he could not assuage. "Excuse me, sir," said a voice behind him, making him jump. "I'm sorry to disturb you, but I was wondering whether you could recommend an inexpensive tavern for me to spend the night." It was a young man, a Nord, with a sack over his shoulder. Obviously, he had just disembarked from one of the boats. For the first time in weeks, someone was looking at Cassier as something other than a colossal, famous idiot. He could not help, black as his mood was, but be friendly. "You've just arrived from Skyrim?" asked Cassier. "No, sir, that's where I'm going," said the fellow. "I'm working my way home. I've come up from Sentinel, and before that Stros Mackay, and before that Woodhearth in Valenwood, and before that Artaeum in Somerset. Wellig's my name." Cassier introduced himself and shook Wellig's hand. "Did you say you came from Artaeum? Are you a Psijic?" "No, sir, not any more," the fellow shrugged. "I was expelled. Do you know anything about summoning Daedra? You see, I want to cast a curse against a particularly powerful person, one might say a living god, and I haven't had any luck." The Baron won't allow me in his sight, but the Baroness has sympathy for me and allowed me the use of their summoning chambers. Cassier spat. I did all the rituals, made sacrifices, but nothing came of it. That'd be because of Sotha Sil, my old master, replied Wellig with some bitterness. The Daedra princes have agreed not to be summoned by any amateurs, at least until the war ends. Only the Sijiks may counsel with the Daedra, and a few nomadic sorcerers and witches. Witches, did you say? 29 Frostfall, 2920. Phrygius, High Rock. Pale sunlight flickered behind the mist bathing the forest as Turala, Doriatha, and Celefina drove their horses on. The ground was wet with a thin layer of frost, and laden down with goods it was a slippery way over unpaved hills. Turala tried to contain her excitement about coming back to the Coven. Wayrest had been an adventure, and she adored the looks of fear and respect the city folk gave her. But for the last few days all she could think of was returning to her sisters and her child. A bitter wind whipped her hair forward so she could see nothing but the path ahead. She did not hear the rider approach to her side until he was almost upon her. When she turned and saw Cassier, she shouted with as much surprise as pleasure at meeting an old friend. His face was pale and drawn, but she took it to be merely from travel. "What brings you back to Phrygius?" she smiled. "Were you not treated well in Dwynnen?" "Well enough," said Cassier. "I have need of the Skeffington Coven." "Ride with us," said Turala. "I'll bring you to Mynastera." The four continued on, and the witches regaled Cassier with tales of Wayrest. It was evident that it was also a rare treat for Doriatha and Celefina to leave old Barbin's farm. They had been born there as daughters and granddaughters of Skeffington witches. Ordinary High Rock city life was exotic to them as it was to Turala. Cassier said little, but smiled and nodded his head, which was encouragement enough. Thankfully, none of the stories they had heard were about his own stupidity, or at the very least, they did not tell him. Doriatha was in the midst of a tale she had heard in a tavern about a thief who had been locked overnight in a pawn shop when they crossed over a familiar hill. Suddenly she halted in her story. The barn was supposed to be visible, but it was not. The other three followed her gaze into the fog, and a moment later they rode as fast as they could towards what was once the site of the Skeffington Coven. The fire had long since burned out. Nothing but ashes, skeletons, and broken weaponry remained. Cassier recognized at once the signs of an orc raid. The witches fell from their horses, racing through the remains, wailing. Celefina found a tattered, bloody piece of cloth that she recognized from Mynastera's cloak. She held it to her ashen face, sobbing. Turala screamed for Bosriel, but the only reply was the high whistling wind through the ashes. "Who did this?" she cried, tears streaking down her face. "I swear I'll conjure up the very flames of oblivion. What have they done with my baby?" "I know who did it," said Cassier quietly, dropping from his horse and walking towards her. "I've seen these weapons before. I fear I met the very fiends responsible in Dwynnen, but I never thought they'd find you. This is the work of assassins hired by the Duke of Mournhold." He paused. The lie came easily. Adopt and improvise. What's more, he could tell instantly that she believed it. Her resentment over the cruelty the Duke had shown her had quieted but never disappeared. One look at her burning eyes told him that she would summon the Daedra and wreak his, and her, revenge upon Morrowind. And what's more, he knew they'd listen. And listen they did, for the power that is greater than desire is rage, even rage misplaced. Alright. There's nothing else here on the ground floor. Well, let's grab these soul gems that have scattered a little bit, but actually not too bad. There's that other skeleton. Another sample of fire salts, embalming tool and leather strips, and a saw. This Breton has a lockpick, boots, and clothes. Alright, let's see if we can do the flame Atronach. We can't. I remember, you can't ever raise Atronachs. What about this Breton? I know it'll work if I can just manage to actually hit it. There we go. Carry weight's at 378. I knew he'd make his way out eventually. And down he goes. Alright. Let's get this word of power now. there is Inferno, the second word of fire breath. Awesome. Let me unlock it. And let me tell you what the inscription actually says. For the second word, Inferno, the word wall says the following. Asa raised this stone for her sister, Thohild the Inferno, whose passion burned hot as the red forge. Oh, there you go. Alright, now let's search this table. Got a couple of embalming tools, an iron dagger, another set of leather strips, 2 corpses, a red guard, and a wood elf, and we'll need to reanimate both. Most importantly, our 4th unusual gem is sitting there in the corner. Remember those? Do not miss that. You'd hate to have to clear this place again. We'll reanimate the Breton in a moment. Over here we've got 3 burial urns. And the boss chest, which has not much to write home about. At least it was all enchanted. Here, I'm gonna make fire breath my default. It's by far the most powerful with 2 words. There's conjuration to 94. 6 ranks to go. Alright, this room's cleared out, so there's a pull chain to the left of these spikes. And a bunch of stuff in here, which seems to have been scattered, unfortunately. Now I'm gonna get... Ooh, almost missed that amethyst. Now I'm gonna get over encumbered, but I don't care, because my horse is right outside and there's nothing left to fight. I believe we have read Book 4 of Dance in Fire. In fact, I think the only one we're missing is Book 5. And then we've read Song of Pelennor V1. We've read that, we've read that, we've read that, we've read both of these. Let's go over here. Gorge, giant lichen, cast iron pot. Ah, another human heart. Now that, we actually have, I think, a full 3 effects we still need to learn. There's an alchemy lab right here, and I'm toting a bunch of ingredients. I wonder if I can learn one now. Let me see what the missing ingredient effects are. Damage Magicka regen, and Frenzy. Okay, I'll mix it with a blue mountain flower. That'll get me one. Alright. We're still missing 2 effects on Human Heart, but we'll get them soon enough. And we've got that little potion to sell. Nice. Alright, back here then, just have a bunch of junk along with a scroll and 1 gem. Alright, there's another pull chain here to the right of the alchemy lab. And we're on the platform above where we killed that schemer. So we're done in here, so let's go offload and then we can call a video. I'm pretty sure I found neither anything I need to hold on to, nor did I find Everything, nor did I steal anything. No, everything I have is just vendor fodder. Back to Skyrim. Back to the horse. And the next location is really close by. So I'd like to hop on the horse and go ahead and get it on the map. I don't think there should be anything to loot between here and there, because I already went up that road. But I'll make certain before I commit to anything. Horsey, where'd you go? Seriously, where's my horse? He was right here. Where did he go? This is bullshit. My horse just disappeared. Well, hold on. I gotta find my horse, so... Or God mode it, just to get rid of my carry weight problems. Seriously, horse, where you at? Ah, there he is. Okay. I did disable God mode, right? Right. There. Now it's all fixed. Oh, I guess he ran away during the fight with the necromancer. That's right. Anyway, the next thing I want to do on this little loop is Vile Gulch Mine, which is just over here. I'll show you right quick. It's basically the end point of that trail we found earlier while we were poking around back here. What I don't know is where this starts. But that's okay with me. I just want to get it on the map. I don't want to miss these mountain flowers, so I'll grab them on my way up. Won't take too long. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Oh, I love glitches. They can be so funny sometimes.
What was that?
Vile Gulch Mine discovered. That's all I wanted. Have to get far enough away to fast travel. As you can see, we've already cleared out all this space. There's just suddenly a little well-maintained road from here to there. No matter. Let's fast travel back to Whiterun. We just need to offload and we'll be finished. .504, practically drowning in time. Oh, I should be spamming Mage Light. I forget that lately. But I definitely should be.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
I don't have anything that I need to drop off. All I'm doing since I do have time, is checking on Lucia's chest. It's empty, so we can go visit Arcadia and Bellator. Sorry about that little bit of console cheating. I just panicked because, you know, it seemed like my horse had disappeared. That's no good.
Don't set anything on fire, all right?
Shut up, Amron. How many times have I saved your butt from vampires? At least 3.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
With Arcadia, we are simply
Got
looking
something for just about everybody in here.
for recipes.
Have any questions?
I don't think she sells
What do you
any
need, my...
of
So
the
you're
ingredients I'm
interested in
still
my
missing.
potions and ingredients?
Nope. Alright. And she doesn't have any of the recipes
Come back
I want
anytime
either.
if you need a remedy.
Fair enough. Straight to Bellator we go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Why?
What's
Because
the
he'll buy
magic?
everything, that's why. Oof, I'm glad Sunderstone Gorge is over with. Casters are such a pain in the ass.
Got
If it
something
were a
for
viable
just about
strategy
everybody
to
in
make
here.
them run out of magic,
Give a holler if you have any questions.
it'd be a lot easier to handle. But despite a lot of
Take a look.
poisons that seem to indicate that's a possibility, it isn't. It took me a long time and a lot of frustration before I went online and figured out that they do in fact have infinite magicka. There's no point in trying to run them out of it. And he has 9 gold left. 8, 7. One, 0. But I do still have a few 0 value things to turn over, so. Alright,
Do come back.
time to reset him. I gained like 4 ranks in one hand.
What do you think you're doing?
Still not doing appreciably more damage.
You just let... Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
$128, 55, 36, 7. Six, 2, 0.
Remember, I'll give you the best deal. Die trying.
What do you think you're doing?
Welcome. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
$18. 1.
Next time comes see me at my...
Help me!
Ah! Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Staff of Ice Storms, and that's it for weapons. Good. 84. 8. Done.
Till next time.
Help! I'm...
Huh? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Okay. 48. 10. Done again.
What do you think you're doing?
Yes? Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
I didn't know what of nullification meant, but it did not, in fact, mean poison resistance, which is the one enchantment I'm still missing. 17. 5. 1. Done.
All right, then.
Help me!
Huh? Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Alright, we're done with apparel. We're done with potions. 16. 9. 4. Done.
Help! I'm being...
Need some? Take a look.
Four. 1. Done.
Till next time.
What do you think you're doing?
We're all the way down to miscellaneous. We're nearing
Trinkets,
the end.
odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Disease immunity. Nope. And 90. 47. 9. 2. Done.
Till next time.
What do you think you're doing?
Yes? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Done. Good. Do I have anything? Oh,
Till
yes.
next time.
I almost forgot. I do have a bunch of stolen stuff, because I pickpocketed that hunter and never offloaded it. Well, let's go drop that off.
Watch it.
Then we'll fast travel back to Vile Gulch Mine and end the video there.
Can I help you?
Okay, so weapons. I'm toting an extra hunting bow. Apparel, nothing. Potions, ultimate healing. Food. Quite a bit of food besides my hunting brew mead. A fly amanita. And some stuff here too. Alright, now we're good.
Brief is a big
Just
meal.
lost 21 extra
Keep telling
pounds.
Lars and
Excellent, alright. So, back to Bile Gulch Mine. light. No mage lighting. Not when we have important things to do. This has been Let's Play Skyrim. We cleared out the difficult den of casters, Sunderstone Gorge. We were rewarded with an unusual gem, and the second word of the Firebreath shout. Next time, we'll clear out Bile Gulch Mine. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.